As my tenure as President of Queen's approaches its end, I've been reflecting on what it means to belong to Queen's. I have, after all, spent nearly 30 years of my life here, as undergraduate, research fellow, and as president. As president, I've been adamant that once a member of Queen's, always a member of Queen's. You always belong. An argument that's been particularly useful when I've been trying to persuade a member to give generously to the college. And I've attempted to follow the diktat of the great Arthur Armitage, president when I was an undergraduate, that the first important characteristic of any individual is that they belong to Queen's. Belonging to Queen's is a joy. It's something of which I am inordinately proud. It's an important part of my identity. But belonging, or identity, is not as simple as it might seem. In a number of important writings, Amartya Sen, the former master of Trinity, has emphasized that we all have multiple identities. Indeed, recognition of and understanding of our multiple identities is a vital component of our humanity. My own identity can spiral off in many directions. I'm a member of Queen's. I'm an economist. I'm British. A ridiculously committed rugby enthusiast. A supporter of gay rights. Anti-racist. I'm a European. A balletomane. A collector of antiquarian books on economics. A fan of Dolly Parton. Each of these characteristics ally me with others, defining us as a group with its own identity, often its own vocabulary, codes, and recognizable standards of behavior. Identity can be an enormous force for good. Think of those who gather to get together to declare, I'm a trade unionist, I'm a feminist, I'm a member of the ANC. Through the centuries, the disadvantaged have used the power of belonging to force their plight to be recognized and mitigated. Belonging has played an important role in social progress. Now, I can't claim anything so grand for my multiple identities. They all seem fairly harmless, except perhaps being an economist. But it's clear that there's nonetheless something disturbing about identity. Belonging has a dark side. Identity includes, but it also excludes. Group solidarity is bought at the price of the exclusion of others. I'm a member of Cambridge University, you're not. I'm a supporter of gay rights, you're not. I'm a Christian, you're not. I'm a Jew, you're not. I'm a Muslim, you're not. Belonging is taking us on a more ominous, divisive path. Amartya Sen points out that identity is most dangerous when it's singular, when we define people by just one thing. He recalls as a child witnessing Hindu-Muslim violence in the partition of India, when previously friendly neighbors turned on one another in a bloodbath defined by their singular identities. Identity divides us from people who are not like us, who don't think the way we do. This dark side of belonging has been the source of much of the violence endured in this country and indeed in many countries around the world. Acceptance of, celebration of the multiple identity of others is not just important, but life-enhancing. I have a most improbable friend who's just retired as president of the Heritage Foundation, one of America's most conservative think tanks. Just about everything political, we disagree. I find much of his politics appalling. He thinks my politics are a threat to civilization. But he's a serious scholar who takes argument seriously. He's prepared to debate, especially in economics, from first principles. Here we share an identity. We belong to the same group. Okay, he's a challenge, but we are friends, and I learn a lot from him. Sen also makes the important point that as far as identity is concerned, we have a choice. We can choose the belongings we deem important, and we can choose to rejoice in the multiple identities of others, rendering permeable what was exclusive. Even those characteristics over which we have no choice, I'm white, I was born that way, are just the starting point for choosing our route to personal understanding of difference, in this case of what race means. Identity is a matter of choice. It's not a matter of destiny. So whilst belonging to Queen's is, for me, a source of joy and pride, it's also part of my recognition of and celebration of the identities of others, even, at a stretch, graduates of Oxford.